following presentation of the National Football League.
And welcome back to the Superdome. Kickoff coming right up. And right now, let's check in with Jennifer Hale.
Dick, we're up here with Saints coach Sean Payton for a game that's really critically important, even though it's only mid-season, week 9 for both teams. Why is it so important for the Saints today?
I think absolutely it's important. It's a divisional game, and generally these games in November and December really separate teams that are going to win their division. Tampa Bay beat us, 3 weeks ago, so we've had a good week of preparation, and I think we're ready to go.
We're up here in the coach's booth where you're going to be watching the game today. Last week you said it was really frustrating to be separated from your players up here. This one promises to be so emotional. What's going to be the biggest challenge for you being up here versus down there with your guys?
Well, I think it's a completely different environment. As an assistant coach, you get somewhat used to it if you're up in the press box, but as a head coach, it's different. We've got a great staff, though. The guys have filled in great, and we're really probably maybe 1 or 2 more games away where I'll be able to get downstairs.
I know they're looking forward to it. Thanks so much for your time and best of luck today.
Thank you, Jennifer.
John Dick, back to you.
All right, Jennifer, not many coaches have an edge on Sean Payton, but Raheem Morris does at 3-2 against the Saints. And with his young team, interesting what his approach was to them, John, this week.
Well, absolutely. I said, Coach Morris, in our meeting the other day, this one's big, and he said, no doubt. But I can't tell my team that. I'm trying to trick my team that we've got 9, and this is just one of them. But you could feel the emotion. He knows how big it is. Sean Payton knows how big it is. This is going to be a classic.
And Josh Freeman will go to work first. And it'll be a while before we see Drew Brees, as the Buccaneers have won the toss and they will receive. And LeGarrette Blount, who has been out 2 games with a sprained knee, is back in action, and Thomas Morstead, whose 33 touchbacks are the most in the league. And this one is underway as Morstead has touchback number 34. And here comes Josh Freeman. 4-1 in his last 5 games against the NFC South, including a 2-0 record against the Saints.
Yeah, and Raheem Morris made a great point. For us to be 4-3, a half game out of first place, and Josh to play the way he's played, we feel real fortunate because we know Josh Freeman's going to play better.
And he's playing with a sprained right thumb that really hasn't bothered him, but it is taped up nonetheless. And the first play from scrimmage from the 20-yard line. And the handoff is to LeGarrette Blount. And Blount, who came in as the leading rusher for the Bucs, but has missed the last 2 games. Let's take a look at the rest of the offense. And it really is one man they would like to see the target more today.
They need to get him going, but it's going to start with LeGarrette Blount, and you're going to see a lot of them. A great matchup. Ted Larson filling in for Jeremy Zutoff. Donald Penn and Will Smith's going to be a fun one-on-one matchup to watch.
2nd down and 7. On the slant, and the pass is ruled incomplete, intended for Mike Williams, and the hit there by Tracy Porter, and Williams is shaken up. As a matter of fact, so is Porter on an early collision here, so injuries on both teams.
A really big collision. Nice throw by Josh Freeman. Mike Williams right here going to run the now route, the quick slant. Tracy Porter comes in. Outstanding play to pop that ball out. Drop passes have been a problem for Mike Williams and for the Buccaneers. They're tied for the league lead coming into today.
John Williams himself has dropped 7 of 15 drop passes, which is another reason why Josh Freeman has not gotten the numbers he had last year. But there you see Williams and Porter still on the field. We'll take a break and return to New Orleans in just a moment.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
So 2 players hurt now. Mike Williams walked off on his own power. He was hit, however, by Tracy Porter on the slant, and Porter is still down.
You see Porter come in and make a really nice play, physical play on the ball. Mike Williams, a big, strong, thick dude, and his neck gets caught actually when Mike Williams falls underneath Mike Williams' leg. think it's when right here at the end, his neck gets bent. The good thing that I'm seeing down on the field, they are bringing the cart. Tracy Porter has been moving. He's been responsive to the medical crews. I think more than ever, they're very careful when guys do anything related to their neck and spine, and as well they should be, Dick.
Well, there's been an added emphasis this week on the officials to look for, concussion symptoms, and we had a chance to talk to Carl Shepherds and the rest of his crew in our production truck before the game, and he says, we're not doctors, so we just have to be aware of those signs that maybe there's a problem.
And that's a good thing as well. And I think some people were concerned that the officials are going to be taking their eye off their job. It's just in an obvious situation to point it out to the medical folks. Knew this was going to be a physical football game. That's the way these teams play each other. There's so much on the line. Tracy Porter comes in low. Maybe that initial hit off Mike Williams' knee.
And for those who may be saying, well, was it a fumble? It was clearly not, because Mike Williams did not have control of the ball after he was hit. But the card is out. And this is where prayers abound for an injured player.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to take another break right now and return in just a moment. And now we understand that we will stay here.
You look at the care that these folks take, and they're so skilled in what they do. They practice this, and it's a good thing that Tracy Porter knows that he's in good hands. And after this, he'll get back to playing football.
Well, now we're going to take a break.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
And back in the Superdome here in New Orleans, Tracy Porter has been on the stretcher, and they have yet to lift him onto the cart. Mike Williams, who was the receiver on the play, walked off on his own power. And John, I know that you've been down on the field for situations like this. We know the prayers and the thoughts. What more can you tell us what it's like to be down there?
Well, it's really tough on both teams. Now, I talked in the open how these teams don't really care for each other, but in a moment like this, the respect that they do have for each other, that wins over. And everybody right now is concerned about Tracy Porter. I was on the field when Kevin Everett, when that situation happened up in Buffalo. I was on the Denver Broncos, and you could see right then that that was something very serious, and everyone's prayers go out. And then, what happens, and it doesn't sound real pretty, but a play from now, they'll go back to not liking each other. It's just the way this game works. But right now, everyone's thoughts and prayers are with Tracy Porter and his family.
John, once an injured player leaves the field, what is it like for the next play? Can you get back into it quickly enough?
It's tough, and I think the guys in the pregame really hit on that Sean Payton being up in the press box is a bigger thing than people think. And here's a perfect example. If Sean Payton were on the sidelines right now, I know he'd gather his team together and say, fellas, our thoughts are with Tracy, but we got to go win this football game. We got to get back to focus. And so another challenge of not having Sean Payton down on the field.
And we're going to have a game break early here. A lot of action getting underway on Fox around the league. So let's right now check in with Kurt Menefee.
We'll just catch up on some other things going on. And right now, Indianapolis rookie DeLon Carter is in a little bit of trouble for fumbling the football against Atlanta, setting up an easy score. Michael Turner takes it in from the yard out. Falcons score first. They have a 7-0 lead over Indianapolis. But right now, let's get it back to you guys down there in New Orleans. And a very good point made by John Lynch, we were all talking about here in the studio, with the comment about head coach Sean Payton not being able to rally his troops right now.
And that's exactly what Howie Long was talking about on the pregame show, as the crowd cheering Tracy Porter as he leaves the field. Porter in his 4th year. And you may remember had the 74-yard interception return that clinched the Super Bowl victory over the Colts a couple of years ago. He's a Louisiana native from Port Allen, Louisiana. And a great sign right here, John.
Absolutely. That's what you're always looking for, and that's good stuff.
So now back to football. 3rd down and 7. Craig Lumpkin is the 3rd down back. Ernest Graham with a torn Achilles against Chicago is out for the rest of the year, and this pass is incomplete, bringing up 4th down. And so 3 and out for the Buccaneers. And Michael Kanan will come in to kick it away. And the very dangerous Darren Sproles goes back deep for New Orleans. Kanan has delivered big time. Free agent pickup from the Atlanta Falcons. And there is Sproles, who has scored on a punt return this year. You name it, he has scored touchdowns. And here is Sproles at the 28 returning. Slowed up and finally goes out of bounds. But Drew Brees will have good field position for the first New Orleans offensive series of the game. With less than 1 minute gone by, Brees is 9-4 against the NFC South. 3 of those losses, however, John, have come against the Buccaneers.
Yeah, that's very telling, and I think it's interesting. The Buccaneers and Raheem Morris, who's the head coach, but also the defensive coordinator, his philosophy: you don't defend the matchup nightmares of Jimmy Graham, Darren Sproles. You defend Drew Brees, and we'll get more into that throughout the game.
Easier to focus on one, and Chris Ivory starting at running back. And Ivory brings it out for a gain of 4 yards. Let's take a look at the Saints offense. We'll see Ivory as well as Pierre Thomas and Sproles, and Zach Street starting at right tackle after missing 5 games to help the running game.
And the tight end Jimmy Graham having about as good a season at the tight end position as you can possibly have. This offensive line struggled mightily last week versus the St. Louis Rams. Expect more help in the way of chips to slow down this Buccaneer defensive line.
2nd down and 6, and again they call the run. Pierre Thomas this time, and Thomas's second effort close to the 1st down into Tampa Bay territory with Mason Foster, the middle linebacker, making the tackle. Taking a look at the Buccaneers defensively, they forced 4 turnovers in the first meeting. How about Adrian Claiborne, the rookie?
He's a star in the making. This guy, he is fun to watch play football. He's all over the field. He's violent. They've got their rookie Mason Foster back in the middle. They love him. Rondé Barber continues to do it at such a high level. Drew Brees said, I've always got to be aware of where number 20 is on that defense.
And we notice that Adam Hayward has started in place of Geno Hayes at weak side linebacker. 3rd and 1, Chris Ivory is back in at the running back position, and he'll get the 1st down. And moves the ball to the 43 of Tampa Bay with Quincy Black making a tackle. A 5-yard pickup for Ivory.
Well, I think the Saints watched the pregame show because they're trying to establish some balance. And that's what you do when your quarterback's been beat up like he was last week. You depend on the run game and you depend on your defense. Sean Payton said the greatest allies to a quarterback.
Really sets everything up for Brees in the passing game. 1st down from the 43 with plenty of time, and the pass thrown underneath, and it's caught by Pierre Thomas, and his forward progress should be at about the 41. So he may get 2 yards on the play with Rondé Barber and Tanar Jackson both making the play. So right now it looks like they're alternating Thomas and Ivory at the running back position.
And this is what you have to do against a Drew Brees offense. He's going to get the ball in his playmaker's hands. You got a gang tackle. Look at Tanar Jackson hits him. Rondé hits him. Here comes the posse. That's Buccaneer defense at its best. People to the football. 2nd
down and 8. Darren Sproles now in there, and there's the quick slant, and a flag is thrown. And our first penalty of the game. Robert Meacham covered by Aqib Talib on the slant to the left. And the flag is down.
Illegal formation, offense. The tight end was covered by another player. 5-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Two tight ends in the game, both Jimmy Graham and David Thomas. So the 5-yard penalty will bring the ball to the 46, making it 2nd down and 13, and Ivory is in again.
And that's what you're going to see with the Saints. The Buccaneers said you're going to see the same plays, but there's window dressing on it. Different personnel, different people in those spots, but the same plays.
Devery Henderson going in motion. Play action for Breeze. And Breeze is going deep and wide open and overthrowing Devery Henderson, who had the defense beat by a mile.
Here's what you're going to see from the Saints. It's going to be a double move from Devery Henderson. These teams are so familiar with each other. Rondé Barber, a great player in this league for a long time, but he takes a lot of chances. He's aggressive, so what do? You double move him, and they went after it early, and Drew Brees knows he missed one.
He doesn't miss many like that.
No, he doesn't.
3rd down and 13.
First charge timeout.
And a timeout called by the Buccaneers, their first of this game. Early on, no score, with 3rd and long coming up for the Saints when we return to the Superdome.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Lexus. It's time to engineer amazing. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Pizza Hut. Right now, get any pizza for just $10 only at your Pizza Hut.
There was that double move that Henderson put on Rondé Barber, and the Saints missed an opportunity. 3rd down and 13. And the pass caught. First down at the 30 by Marcus Colston, as the Buccaneers very nearly had a hand on it to get the ball away. A 21-yard pickup. Sean Jones on the coverage initially.
I want you to look at Darren Sproles right there. His presence on the hip helps out Jermon Bushrod right there, and if you give Drew Brees time, they convert at almost 50% on 3rd and 6+. It's unheard of. This is the best 3rd down team in the league. That's what this game, in many ways, is going to come down to.
Baker's had the best chance of knocking it away. Pierre Thomas is the running back's position on 1st down, and Brees gets away and alertly able to get rid of it for an incomplete pass as Tanard Jackson with a safety blitz storming in on Drew Brees.
Well, Tanard Jackson came off a 56-week suspension, but watch him loop on in here. Going to come on a little bit of a delayed blitz, goes and gets Drew Brees. Drew Brees does a great job of keeping his feet, getting rid of the football, and not having the disaster that can come with sacks. Tanard Jackson, it's been incredible after being gone as long as he has, the presence he's had on the field thus far.
2nd down and 10, and there's the quick slant, and it's caught inside the 20 by Jimmy Graham. And it'll be 3rd down coming up, and this is where Drew Brees has excelled almost beyond explanation, John.
It's incredible. 3rd down, I try to explain to folks each week, this is where, as a defense, you spend so much. You devote an entire day to it. So many hours of practice, and he excels so much.
3rd down and 3. Sproles, nowhere to go. And the Buccaneers, led by the dime back, Elbert Mack, forcing the play and a loss of 3 yards. So with all of the success of the Saints on 3rd down, now they're forced to attempt a field goal as John Casey comes on. Here's Casey, who spent his entire career with the Carolina Panthers, an original Panther. This will be a 42-yard attempt. And the kick hits the upright and bounces back on the field. No good for Casey. A rare miss for Casey, who is now 16 of 20. And here is Mack's play on Sproles, setting up the field goal try, which missed. Still no score. Here's that field goal try once more.
You don't like that sound if you're the New Orleans Saints fans. The Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans are loving it.
Still no score. The Buccaneers on the 32. Freeman to LeGarrette Blount, finds an opening up the middle, and Blount getting the first down and close to midfield, gets to the 48. A 16-yard gain on first down for the Buccaneers.
Well, LeGarrette Blount goes almost 250 pounds. He's a downhill physical runner, but when you can add that along with the physicality, you got something special. And the Buccaneers know it. And Dick, we talked to both teams. The Buccaneers said, we're going to run and we're going to keep running. And the Saints said, we know they're going to run and continue to run. Who can stop it? Can the Buccaneers run it? Big part of this game today.
And you know they're going to be blitzing a lot, the Saints defensively. DeMar Dotson is an extra offensive lineman, and the handoff is to Blount. And Blount moving the pile into Saint territory to the just about the 45-yard line, where Roman Harper makes the tackle, a gain of 8. By the way, Patrick Robinson has replaced Tracy Porter at cornerback for New Orleans.
And when you have a big physical runner like this, defenses coaches tell him, we can't let him fall forward. He's taken that entire pile about 5 yards after contact. It's critical that the Saints put a stop to that.
And Mike Williams, who was shaken up in that collision with Porter, is back into the bottom of your picture. Second down and 2 for the Buccaneers in New Orleans territory. And here is LeGarrette Blount. And a blunt object indeed, as he goes straight ahead for 7 yards and a first down inside the Saints 40, as we check in again with Jennifer Hale.
Well, Dick, it looks like Tracy Porter has sustained a neck injury. That is what the Saints are confirming to me. The good news is he is neurologically just fine, but the Saints have decided to transport him to the hospital for further checks. They're not expecting him back today. John, Dick.
Thanks for the update, Jennifer. So Patrick Robinson, who started 4 games this year, is in the lineup. It'll be a first down at the 38 of New Orleans. Freeman had nowhere to go and goes straight ahead back to the line of scrimmage where Roman Harper envelops him. And that time Jolon Dunbar, who was playing middle linebacker with Jonathan Vilma out of action today, made the stop on the play. Vilma with a left knee injury, unable to go today for Sean Payton.
They didn't. Sean Payton said he was going to bring him out prior to the game. They never even brought him out. So John Vilma not out here today. Big loss for the Saints.
Second down and 9. They gave a 1-yard gain there, and there is LeGarrette Blount. And John, there's no question that Raheem Morris has his team running the ball early. A 3-yard gain that time for Blount, who has gotten off to a solid start with 36 yards gained. Take a look at the key inactives in this game. Jeremy Zutak, as John had mentioned, is out, and Mark Ingram with a heel injury, and of course Vilma for the Saints. 3rd and 5, and Craig Lumpkin, the third down back, with Graham out, is in there for Tampa Bay. Where that dome crowd can be effective. Freeman in the pocket completes the pass to Mike Williams, who is going to be shy of the first down by about 1.5 yards, and a good play by Jabari Greer from not letting Williams get a first down.
Excellent tackle. Josh Freeman did what he's supposed to do, get the ball to Mike Williams, but an excellent open field by Jabari Greer against a strong Mike Williams, keeping him from the first down. Not for a lack of trying. Mike Williams doing everything he can.
So it'll be 4th and 1. And Raheem Morris is going to try to get the yard. Ball at the 29. LeGarrette Blount, and he's not going to get there. And a loose ball. Loss of a yard. Jonathan Casillas is there to make the play. And the Saints will take over on downs. Loss of 1 on the play as Jonathan Casillas, starting at weak side linebacker, makes the play on Blount.
Well, here it is, 4th and 1. The Bucs knew they were going to run it. The Saints knew they were going to run it. Penetration kills runs. Watch Ted Larson, the puller. He's going to get penetration that knocks him off. He gets in the way of LeGarrette Blount. The rest of the New Orleans Saints defense gets there. Outstanding job by Abreu, Franklin, Scott Shanley of getting penetration.
Easy to second guess. The field goal attempt would have been from 48 or 50.
Bucs are playing to win, as are the Saints.
First down, and Darren Sproles with a burst up the middle. Still on his feet. Wow. 35 yards. Talk about a burst. Barber and Mack finally bring him down at the 31.
Well, you said it better than anyone. Just sit back and watch this one. It's pretty. Talk about a burst. Darren Sproles. Sean Payton said the biggest thing he's been surprised with, his ability to run between the tackles, and there it is. Look at the leg strength. I've played against this guy a lot. Toughest guy for me ever in the NFL to tackle, along with Barry Sanders. Low man wins in this league. He's pretty low.
And that 35-yard gain, the longest run from scrimmage for the Saints this year. It put pressure on, and in stride, here is Sproles as a receiver. And a 15-yard play with Black forcing him out of bounds, and they are springing Sproles on the Buccaneers, and they get 50 yards in 2 plays.
Well, Drew Brees was so happy when the Chargers decided not to go get Darren Sproles because he knew what he could bring. We just saw him run. Now you throw it to him in the flat. You put this guy in space, he will make you pay, and he's doing it today.
And it's a first down on the 16 of the Bucs. Chris Ivory with a full house backfield, and Ivory going up the middle and fights his way inside the 15 for a 3-yard pickup. And there is Darren Sproles, the only player to score a touchdown by rushing, by receiving, and a punt return this season in the NFL.
With the Buccaneer defense right now, you've had a couple big plays against you. It's important to keep them out of the end zone. You got to settle down, settle in, fight the tempo that Drew Brees and the Saints offense brings, and play your assignment.
2nd and 7, and now it's Pierre Thomas. And on the screen pass, Thomas works his way, still on his feet, and finally stopped near the 1-yard line. Aqib Talib, and a 10-yard pickup. Boy, if they come out strong after they stop the Bucs on 4th down.
Well, tremendous play call by Pete Carmichael Jr., the offensive coordinator. You're going to bring pressure. Best thing to put a chill on that is a screen game. The Buccaneers better start tackling because these extra yards will kill you. The yards after contact, Buccaneers have to be able to do that today.
1st and goal at the 3. And the Saints are in rhythm offensively here. Here's the fade. Lance Moore, touchdown, New Orleans. Third touchdown catch of the year for Lance Moore. And he was able to reach over E.J. Biggers for the score.
Well, Drew Brees saw this. E.J. Biggers on an island. Lance Moore one-on-one. Look at the ball location. Outside shoulder, only where his receiver could grab it. And Lance Moore, Mr. Dependable, he brings it in.
And the 20th touchdown pass of the year for Drew Brees. And John Casey looking to give the Saints a 7-0 lead with under 2.5 to go in the first quarter. And the Saints lead it 7-0. And what an impressive, decisive drive sparked by Darren Sproles and finished by Brees to Lance Moore. 7-0 New Orleans. Well, Darren Sproles accounted for 50 of the 66 yards in just over 2.5 minutes of a 5-play, 66-yard drive, with Moore making the reception. A 3-yard pass from Brees. And Thomas Morstead will be kicking off, and with that touchdown pass, Brees now ties Brett Favre for 2nd place behind Johnny Unitas for most consecutive games with a touchdown pass. A lot of people liken that to Joe DiMaggio's 56-game history.
That's pretty good company right there. You're talking Johnny Unitas, Brett Favre, and Drew Brees.
And Morstead's kick will be down in the end zone, and the Buccaneers trailing 7-0 will take it out on the 20. Well, Saturday, Fox Sports steps into the octagon with an epic heavyweight title fight as the #1 ranked contender in the world, Junior Dos Santos, squares off with undefeated world champion Cain Velasquez in the must-see live event you can only catch on Fox. Dos Santos versus Velasquez for the UFC Heavyweight Championship of the World, live that Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on Fox. The early numbers in this game, and the Saints 2 for 3 on third downs. What else is new?
That's right. If you're the Buccaneers, you can't go away from LeGarrette Blount. He's successful running the football thus far. 5 yards a carry. You got to keep pounding him.
And they do just that, but Blount is knocked back for a loss. Led by Cameron Jordan, the defensive end. And for a game break, let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Saints and Bucks playing for first place in the NFC South. Keep an eye on Atlanta, especially if this kid gets going. Julio Jones, talk about concentration, somehow makes the grab, 50 yards on the touchdown reception. It's 14-0 as Jones gets his first NFL touchdown. Falcons rolling over the Colts. Dick and John?
All right, thank you very much, Kurt. Now, the Saints looking to hold on to their lead in the NFC South. And a 5-yard penalty has been called against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It's a legal substitution on the Buccaneers, and those are the foolish penalties that Raheem Morris says has been killing this team. 59 penalties coming into today, 28th in the NFL. They work during the bye week on addressing it, puts them in a tough 2nd and 15 situation.
And on their own 14. Freeman drills it, and the pass caught by Williams at the 21. That'll bring up a third down and close to 10 for Tampa Bay.
Dick, you see what those penalties do. Instead of a 3rd and 5, very manageable 3rd and 10. Not many plays in the playbook for this. You got to deal with this noise. Sit back and listen. It's tough.
And this Buccaneer team has made a habit of getting off to slow starts because of the penalties. Under a minute now remaining in the first quarter. 3rd down and 10. Freeman pushed back, and his pass is caught by Preston Parker. And Parker with a shallow crossing pattern, no defender near him, and he gets a lot of yards. 36 to be exact, into Saint territory, which quiets the crowd. Out to the 44. Wide open.
Preston Parker's going to work on the slot, but it's Josh Freeman's ability to stand in there tough, extend the play. Preston Parker, a busted coverage. Lee Torrance recovers. Now, Lee Torrance is the guy that's in for Tracy Porter. Patrick Robinson replaces him in the base, but in the nickel, it's Lee Torrance. Preston Parker, he brings juice to this offense.
First down on the 44 of the Saints. Freeman finds Kellen Winslow, and flag goes down as Winslow makes the catch on the 43, tackled by Malcolm Jenkins, would pick up 7 yards. And the penalty flag down.
Pass interference, number 17, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
So it's Aurelius Ben pushing off on his pattern. So there's another penalty against Tampa Bay when they were in position to have a 2nd and short.
Penalties are tough to overcome, particularly when you're playing a team like the Saints and Drew Brees. You got to match him score for score. You got to stay on the field to keep him off the field. And now you're in a 1st and 20. It makes it really hard.
Especially playing in this building where the Saints are undefeated at 3-0. And have had great success here at the Superdome. So 11 seconds will remain, and the ball will be placed back into Buccaneer territory at the 46. And now they run the clock, and that will be the end of the quarter. That is the end of the first quarter. Saints lead the Bucs 7-0. Fox NFL Sunday continues after a break from your local Fox station. Start of the second quarter at the Superdome. Dick Stockton, John Lynch, Jennifer Hale. First down and 20 for the Buccaneers on their 46. Play action. Pressure coming on Freeman. Pass is caught by Blunt, and he is hit immediately by Jabari Greer. So they'll lose 3 yards on that play as the Saints have dominated the numbers department, leading 7-0. This is what that looks like.
That's what the Saints do so well. Again, you mentioned it, the third down, 2 of 3 already today. That's going to be key. The Buccaneers have to find a way to win that third down and stay away from the penalties offensively. Now we're looking at a 2nd and 23. Tough to continue to run LeGarrette Blount when you're in these situations.
Ball back on the 43. Freeman completes to Aurelius Ben, and Ben takes it out close to the 40-yard line of the Saints. Jonathan Casillas making the play, and it'll be...
Dick, you hit the point earlier. This is a guy they have to get more involved in their offense, Aurelius Ben. And when you talk to the Buccaneers, this guy's a running back, essentially. You got to get the ball in his hands. Good things happen.
Freeman so far 5 of 7 for 61 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Let's see what Tampa Bay does on the 3rd down. Pressure up the middle on Freeman. Pass is caught by Kellen Winslow. Winslow still on his feet as a flag goes back upfield at the 40. And wrestled down.
They got Kellen Winslow as well. They should.
Pass interference, number 82, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
And John, that's the 2nd time the Buccaneers have been called for offensive pass interference on the push-off.
They like this matchup, but if you're Kellen Winslow, a little aggressive here. Watch him throw Roman Harper. They're going to catch that one every time. You got to be a little more subtle in how you push off the defender, Kellen. That's a matchup that the Buccaneers will continue to go to. When they get Kellen Winslow one-on-one on Roman Harper, they'll feed him.
Did you say subtle? When was the last time you were ever subtle when you were on the field?
Well, they usually don't call it on the offense. They always called it on the defense.
3rd down and 17. Looks like the Buccaneers have been playing most of this game at 3rd and long. Freeman on the screen to Lumpkin. Greg Lumpkin, and he gets tripped up about 5 yards or so shy of the first down. Jolon Dunbar makes a big play there because they were headed for the first down. And there is Freeman jawing with Turk McBride. They get 13 yards, but 4th down coming up.
And a smart play call. You're in 3rd and that long. You got to play the field position game and see if you can bust out on a screen. You're going to throw another interception if you try to challenge them down the field.
Michael Kanan back to punt. Sproles is standing at the 10 and trying to keep it in the field of play, but the ball bounces in for the touchback, and the Saints will take over on the 20.
Who said quarterbacks can't be tough as well? He goes and gets Turk McBride, says, I'm just as big as you, buddy.
Bigger.
Today's game is sponsored by the Droid Razor. Ben is no longer frail, only at Verizon. By Citizen Echo Drive. Fueled by light, it never needs a battery. Unstoppable. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Well, if you're at home and you ever played tag as a kid, here we go. Josh Freeman on the screen. Turk McBride says, tag, you're it. And Josh Freeman says, I'm coming after you. This is good stuff. I love Josh Freeman because the guy likes to compete.
And the first pass on 1st down to Jimmy Graham. Foster making the stop after a gain of 5, and we couldn't even say for our audience what Josh Freeman said about his feelings about the Saints.
Let's just put it this way. He doesn't like them. And you saw the pregame show. Howie Long, how do you fix the Saints' balance? This is balance. It's not the old 70s style of football where 50-50, but a 60 Saints, and that's a good thing.
And when you have Sproles, you can throw to him. You can do anything you want. Ivory is in the game, and here's Chris Ivory cutting upfield nicely, and Ivory gets the first down to the 37-yard line, picking up 12. Daquan Bowers bringing him down, and if the Saints can run the ball, that's going to open up a world of things for Breeze.
It starts right here on the edge. Dave Thomas, who's been out with the concussion, he gets the seal block on Adrian Claiborne. Chris Ivory, remember, he led the Saints in rushing last year, and he's going to work here thus far today.
Saints are averaging nearly 8.5 yards per rush, going to Thomas this time, and here's Thomas with a first down into Buccaneer territory. And finally tripped up by E.J. Biggers, but another big run, 33 yards this time for Pierre Thomas.
Well, you can shuttle running backs in, but if you follow this guy, your fullback, it doesn't matter. There's too big a hole. Jed Collins comes through there. No one to block. It's wide open. Pierre Thomas right on his hip. That's too easy. Buccaneers defense better adjust in a hurry.
92 rushing yards, only 62 passing yards. They go to the ground again to Ivory. And Chris Ivory to the 26. Mason Foster, the middle linebacker, is there, and a pickup of 4 yards. So this game is really shaping up exactly what the Saints would like to get to their 32-point-a-game average. So this is the difference. 70 yards rushing in week 6 against the Bucs in the loss, already 96 today.
In the second quarter with almost 10 minutes left.
Second down and 5. They fake a handoff to Thomas. Pass is caught by Jimmy Graham. And Zanar Jackson makes the play. First down. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee with a game break.
Atlanta's Matt Ryan has only 3 completions on the day, but 2 of them are for touchdowns, totaling 130 yards to this guy, Julio Jones. He had a 50-yarder earlier for his first NFL score. Here's one for 80 yards against the Colts, 21-0 as they start the second quarter. Atlanta cranking it up. Dick and John.
All right, thank you very much, Kurt. And the Buccaneers could find themselves in 3rd place at the end of this day, with the Falcons up 21-0 and the Saints leading here and threatening. First down. Here's Chris Ivory, but they blow the whistle and the play blown dead.
False start. Number 74. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
That's the left tackle, Jermon Bushrod.
I'll tell you something. This offensive line for the Saints gave up 6 sacks versus the St. Louis Rams. I'm sure they were chewed out, but offensive linemen love nothing more. It takes pressure off them when you can run the football effectively. These guys are loving it.
Saints were primed coming into this game after that horrendous setback last week. Here's the screen to Darren Sproles down the sideline. Darren Sproles touchdown. And it was Jari Evans, the right guard, who freed him. And the Saints strike again and lead 13-0. 21-yard play. Breeze to Sproles.
Just too easy. They knew they had man-on-man. Mason Foster's got Darren Sproles right here. You invite the defensive line up the field. You follow the big boy Jari Evans, and it's too easy for Darren Sproles. Buccaneers and Raheem Morris have to make some adjustments because Darren Sproles and these running backs, they've got too much room right now.
Extra point is good. Sproles, who came in leading the Saints in receiving, that's his 3rd touchdown catch of the season.
Put Pierre Thomas, Darren Sproles, the likes of those guys in open field. This is what's going to happen. Touchdown Saints. You know, when you're at home with your family, there's good pictures to look at and bad pictures. Well, Drew Brees and Chase Daniels, the backup quarterback, they've got good pictures right now because everything they're dialing up's working, and it starts with the offensive line. They're dominating the line of scrimmage right now, and that's beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's easy for Drew Brees right now.
Nice family album.
That's right.
Preston Parker is going to run this one out. Parker on the return for Tampa Bay. And a terrific return as he crosses the 40-yard line where Courtney Roby makes the stop. A 43-yard return. Right now, the Buccaneers are back on their heels. Let's see if they can come back in this one. 14-0, New Orleans.
Sponsored by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
John, many viewers would say, hey, it's 14-0. They got to keep the ball in the air. Not necessarily the case.
You got to stick with the game plan. You came in wanting to run the football. Continue with it if you're the Buccaneers. Then things will open up down the field.
After the good return, it's going to be play action for Josh Freeman. Pumps downfield and no receiver there as he gets knocked out of bounds by Roman Harper. Maybe a yard. We'd like to welcome the men and women in uniform serving around the world, watching today's broadcast in 175 countries on AFN, the American Forces Network. Thanks for all you do. We hope you're enjoying today's telecast. And every time we pass one of the men and women in uniform, we thank them, don't we?
God bless them. Thank you very much.
Second down and 10. 8 minutes remaining in the first half. They go to Blunt, turning the corner. Not easy to bring down, and Joe Lon Dunbar making the tackle. 6-yard pickup, bringing up third down for the Buccaneers on the 47. Let's look at Tampa Bay. Last 2 possessions. They're getting yardage, but they've got to convert the third down.
It's the penalties. They're getting yardage, and then they're getting it taken away. So you end up a net even, and you got a punt. But right here, you're in a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. You can work with this. Josh Freeman can convert this.
Pressure on Freeman, and the pass incomplete. And it was a jump ball situation with Parker and Jabari Greer. The pass is incomplete, and the Buccaneers will have to kick.
Cameron Jordan working outside right here, having a very nice game today. Actually, he's working inside, excuse me. He's going to come in and get his hand right up, actually deflects the ball. But Cameron Jordan really having a nice game, close to being an interception for Jabari Greer and the New Orleans Saints.
So once again, Michael Kanan punting it away, and Darren Sproles running up with a fair catch at the 22, and a flag is down. So we'll check out the penalty. Raheem Morris has an opinion.
Delay of game, defense, number 21, 5-yard penalty. That yardage results in a first down.
They call it on Patrick Robinson, a delay of the game call.
And the biggest thing about it, first down Buccaneers, you get the football back. We've been talking about how the penalties have killed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this season, and thus far today. Now it's the New Orleans Saints with a critical mistake.
And a weird penalty, a delay of the game called against.
I don't know if it was 12 people on the field. Usually they
say too many men. Well, Greg Williams has his defense on the field and a first down at the 48 of the Saints.
Thank you.
There's the penalty story thus far.
Now if you're the Buccaneers, you got to cash in. They just gave you an opportunity. You got to get points on the board.
Now the audible called by Freeman. Saints react defensively. First down. They don't blitz him, but caught from behind and downed, and a flag goes down as well. And that was Cameron Jordan, the first-round pick out of the University of California, who got Freeman from behind. Here's Carl Shepard.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
So the Saints in a confusing situation for Freeman here, showing blitz and then pulling back.
A card on Jeremy Truegarden.
DeMar Dotson is eligible on this next play. And there you're right. First down and 15. Buccaneers back in their own territory at the 47. Play action. Freeman throws, and everything kind of broke down on that play. Blunt was the intended receiver, and Casillas was covering him out of the backfield.
And I tell you what, these Saints fans understand the enormity of this game right now. This place is loud. Josh Freeman having a tough time. Their offensive line having a tough time. I think sometimes like this, Josh Freeman, his legs are a huge asset. He's a big man who can run the football well. Times like that, tuck the football and get positive yards.
So it isn't just a sack. You get hit and you're forced to get rid of it before you want to. So it's second down and 15 and timeout called by Tampa Bay. It is their second timeout of the first half. Trying to get in gear, trying to get on the same page, trailing the Saints 14-0. Tampa Bay calling it second timeout, and John, the Buccaneers really struggled in their third down package since Ernest Graham has been out.
Well, they seem out of sorts right now, and they've got to get it together. They're late with personnel groupings. They just wasted another timeout. They're out of sorts. Josh Freeman, Raheem Morris got to get this team back on schedule.
Second down and 15. And the pass caught by Williams Ben and knocked back. 7-yard gain with Scott Shanley on the tackle.
You talk about being out of sorts. You're seeing teammates not happy with each other. Josh Freeman trying to get people lined up, gets his personnel late. Instead, has to waste a timeout. Those things are critical. Shouldn't happen coming off a bye week especially.
You're right. A lot of time to think about the Saints. Bucs have lost 2 out of 3. Third down and 8. The crowd and the Saints defense confusing them. And this pass is caught by Preston Parker, tackled immediately by Lee Torrance. The Saints will not let the Buccaneers get anything going even after they make a reception.
Well, and it's those yards after the catch that are critical. If you're at home saying, why aren't they throwing it to the sticks? They're trying to throw a shallow cross and trust in Preston Parker that he's going to break one tackle. But the Saints, you got to give them credit. They're tackling well. The Buccaneers aren't. The difference is points on the scoreboard.
Kanan punting it away, and Darren Sproles back deep. Fair catch called by Sproles right at the 10-yard line. Well, Fox tonight, there's going to be trouble on an all-new Simpsons when Homer goes head-to-head with Glee's John Lynch. Don't miss the epic battle when 2 Fox Titans fight for the same job. Catch an all-new Simpsons tonight at 8, 7 Central, followed by an all-new Alan Gregory on Fox.
See Josh Freeman, Kellen Winslow, they're trying to get this straight, and they need to. The other thing they need to do, this defensive line, particularly in the interior, the adjustments they need to make, they're getting whooped right now. These guys in the middle are getting whooped. They got to stand up.
Saints starting from the 10, and Pierre Thomas picks up a few yards. The Saints have averaged over 10 yards a rush, nearly 11 as a matter of fact. There you see the last 2 possessions resulting in touchdowns, and not only have they gotten good yardage on the touchdowns, they have scored both of them in a total of 6 minutes and 15 seconds. So they don't waste much time as Thomas limps off the field and Chris Ivory replaces him. Second down and 7. Play action. And this pass, and it looked like Meacham was out of bounds when he caught the ball. So that'll be an incomplete with under 5 minutes to go in the half. Check in with Jennifer Hale.
Dick John, second-year defensive tackle for the Bucs. Gerald McCoy is out of this game inside the locker room. He has an arm injury. The Bucs say he will not return this game. Devastating injury for him because this was his first game back from that ankle injury he sustained at the beginning of October. Guys?
All right, Jennifer, he was inactive the last 2 games with that ankle injury, and his presence helps Claiborne and the others up front. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Sproles is in at the running back, but you know he's going out for the possible pass. Breeze gets hit as he throws. And the pass is caught at the 25, and it'll be good for the first down. Lance Moore, who has a touchdown reception, makes this catch good for 11.
But look at this. You got your best receiver, Jimmy Graham. They're conscious of this guy, Adrian Claiborne. A little chip before he goes on his route. It gives Drew Brees time. He buys time. He steps up in the pocket and finds his open receiver. That's why Drew Brees is so good on 3rd down. And they've made a cognizant effort to, first of all, protect Drew Brees because they know he'll deliver if they do.
And Roy Miller replacing Gerald McCoy up front. First down, Chris Ivory. And Ivory brings it out for a gain of about 4.
Well, Jennifer talked about a devastating injury. It's devastating because they're getting whooped in the interior, as I told you. Too much movement in there. It's incumbent upon Roy Miller, Brian Price. These guys got to stand up because Jari Evans, Carl Nix, they're moving that line of scrimmage right now. That's allowing them to run the football at will.
2nd down and 7. Fake to Chris Ivory, and here is Breeze. And the pass to John Gilmore, the 3rd tight end, is incomplete. So 3rd down and 7 upcoming for the Saints. Buccaneers have not been able to stop New Orleans on their 2 touchdown drives. This is the total yard story. Rushing, where LeGarrette Blount, they haven't really gone to him in the last couple of series, John. Have been outrushed 103-36.
And here's the key. In addition, 3rd down. Can you get off the field versus Drew Brees? They're setting an NFL record right now. If they continue at their pace, 56.3% conversion on 3rd down throughout this season.
That's phenomenal. And they don't do it again as Marcus Colston is stopped by Akeem Talib. And that saved a first down just barely. 4th down coming up.
This is a football team in the New Orleans Saints that leads the league in yards after the catch. The bobble allows Akeem Talib to hold on to Marcus Colston and come down with that tackle. Tackling so essential in the NFL these days. Good tackling on both sides the last 2 3rd downs.
So Thomas Morstead will punt. And back deep is Preston Parker. Last kicking return was 45 yards. A beauty by Morstead. And it's going to be picked up by Parker. And Parker can only get up to nearly 25-yard line. Well, Fox Sports is proud to support the Armed Forces Foundation, who offers vital assistance to service members and their families through financial, recreational, and emotional support. The AFF provides better care and treatment for our military. So please support America's heroes by serving those who serve. For more information, please visit armedforcesfoundation.org. Two minutes, 37 seconds remaining in the first half. Dick Stockton, John Lynch, Jennifer Hale. First down on the 25 for the Bucs. Freeman gets hit, and this one is caught by Desmond Briscoe, and Briscoe working his way, holding on inside the 30-yard line of the Saints. Biggest play of the game for the Bucs, 46 yards. Remember, the Buccaneers have only 1 timeout remaining.
Briscoe's becoming a bigger part of this offense. I talked to Josh Freeman about that. He said, plain and simple, the guy's a playmaker. I need to feed him the ball more. We just saw the playmaker, Desmond Briscoe.
Trying to get the play off before the 2-minute warning, and they do. Craig Lumpkin, and he rushes into the 25-yard line with Harper making the tackle, a pickup of 4, and we're down to the 2-minute warning here at the Superdome with the Saints leading the Bucs 14-0. Ooh. Coming up soon, the Visa halftime report. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. Bills taking on the Jets. Big battle in the AFC East. The Chiefs looking for their 5th straight win. A couple of AFC stories. We know that the Atlanta Falcons are leading the Indianapolis Colts 21-7. They're tied with the Bucs, a half a game behind the Saints in the NFC South. 2-minute warning, bringing up 2nd down and 6. Pressure put on and picked up nicely. And the pass is caught by Winslow and ridden out of bounds by Roman Harper. They get it to the 23. Short gain of 2 yards as 1:53 now remaining.
Josh Johnson comes into the football game. He's a mobile quarterback. They've run option with him on 3rd down. He's a very mobile quarterback that can throw extremely well as well, bringing him in a critical situation.
And they've done this the past few years. All of a sudden, Freeman goes out. Johnson comes in. It's 3rd and 4. Bucs looking to convert for only the 2nd time in this game. And here is Josh Johnson, and he's going to try to run it. And he's going to be knocked back about 3 yards shy of the 1st down. And it was Cedric Ellis, the defensive tackle, who led the way. Pickup of 1. So the field goal team comes on for Raheem Morris.
A 30-second timeout.
And a timeout call.
Well, it's easy to armchair quarterback, but I don't like it. You got what you think's a big-time franchise quarterback in Josh Freeman. I like sprinkling Josh Johnson in there, but in a critical 3rd down where you need points, you want a touchdown before you go to half. I'm not sure I like that call. There's Greg Olson, the offensive coordinator, and he's looking for solutions. These guys have tough jobs, but I believe when you've got Josh Freeman, you got to trust in him in that situation.
And the Saints calling their first timeout, and Connor Barth is on to try a 40-yard field goal. Barth this year has clicked on 13 of 15. And the kick is perfect, and the Buccaneers finally score. Well, Josh Freeman sitting down for that 3rd down play, and it's 14-3. And I think it's really critical here that the Buccaneers don't let the Saints get any more points here before intermission.
Absolutely. They got to clamp down defensively. I think that last drive can help them offensively. Josh Freeman, this offense got in a little bit of rhythm, but it's just self-inflicted wounds. All the penalties, all those things you can't do against a good team like the Saints. And then defensively, they're going to have to find a way to make up for the loss of Gerald McCoy up front. Those guys are going to have to play better than they have.
It's amazing how these teams play twice a year, and the Buccaneers were so dominant the first time, and now they really on their heels. You think, well, there's no way they would ever be able to compete the way they did in the first game in this one.
Yeah, and you can't blame it on home away, because the Buccaneers have come in here the last 2 years and won in the Superdome. They're just getting outclassed right now by the New Orleans Saints.
And of course, the Saints have been able to run the ball. They talk about the tremendous performance of Drew Brees, who has 2 touchdown passes today, but Sproles has led the rushing attack. Kanan with the kickoff, and Sproles about 7 yards in the end zone, and he downs it for the touchback. And the Saints will take it out on the 20 with 1:39 to go. Coming up next, America's Game of the Week, and what matchups we have. Packers against the Chargers, Giants and the Patriots, and some will see the Rams and the Cardinals. You couldn't see better quarterbacks than you have in those first 2 games here in America's Game of the Week.
It's pretty good. You're talking Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning. That's good football at the quarterback position.
First down on the 20. 4 receivers line up, including Sproles to the left. going out as a receiver for Drew Brees, but Brees pass caught by Jimmy Graham. Graham had room. He was open enough to make the catch. 23 yards with the nickelback Biggers bringing him down.
And they got pressure there. They moved Drew Brees from his spot, but you cannot let Jimmy Graham, who's having the year he is, have that much space.
First down, playing quickly, and the pass caught by Colston, very close to the first down. As we wind down to a minute remaining, remember the Saints have 2 timeouts remaining.
Now this is where, if you're the New Orleans Saints, you forget about balance. You got a minute 49 seconds, 56 now. You put it in Drew Brees' hands and say, go get us another touchdown.
This is what the great ones do, and there's another completion to the 30-yard line. Jimmy Graham once again. What confidence he has in finding Graham and getting the ball to him.
No, he's such a big target. Drew Brees will tell you.
A 30-second timeout.
I can put the ball places that no one can defend. And this is a zone defense. Jimmy Graham right about there going to work the middle of the field, get behind Rondé Barber. When you play zone defense against Drew Brees, it's too easy. The Buccaneers, the formula in the first game was tight coverage. They played man-to-man, and they made it tough on Drew Brees. I think they got to get more aggressive, start playing that tight man-to-man coverage.
That was a 19-yard pickup, and the Saints calling their second timeout. Jimmy Graham with 5 catches for 63 yards. And already the Saints are in field goal range with 42 seconds remaining in the half. 1 timeout left. First down on the 29. Dropped by Graham this time.
Sean Payton told us before the game, we will protect Drew Brees. Before Jimmy Graham goes out, watch what he does. Little chip on Daquan Bowers. He drops the ball. But what they're doing, they're giving Drew Brees time, and he's a surgeon. You give him time, he'll pick you apart, he'll cut you up.
Second down and 10, 37 seconds remaining in the half. 1 timeout remaining. And looking one way, finding Sproles. And Darren Sproles getting inside the 20-yard line. Let's see if it's enough for a first down, and it may be with 31 seconds remaining.
All right, so you give Drew Brees help, you give the tackles help, but right here, you invite him upfield, and you come with the screen. They got to go attack Darren Sproles. You cannot wait. You've got to go attack the screen. The screen pass has been very effective for the New Orleans Saints thus far.
You said it earlier, John. The Saints are really making it look too easy.
They are. Too much space, open space, getting their athletes the ball in space.
From the 18 now. Brees looking 2 different ways, and then he completes it to Devery Henderson. And Henderson unable to get out of bounds, and the ball spotted at the 12. Aqib Talib. And then timeout.
Final charge timeout, New Orleans. A 30-second timeout.
You look at Drew Brees. Here's what he does so well. He pumps down the middle. He looks over to the right. The focus of those eyes. He scans the whole field. You know, you talk about progressions. Most quarterbacks will go about 1, 2, maybe a 3rd guy in a progression. This guy, you talk to his teammates, he'll go to the 5th and 6th guys on progressions. He's that good. You talk about powerful eyes. We sit in those meetings. He stares right through you. This guy's a focused guy, and that mind's always working of his.
You know, even when we were meeting with him, the eye contact he made with our entire production crew. He doesn't just talk to, well, you know, you would be enough, but he talks to all of us, and he really spends time, and the eye contact is magic with him.
I called my son after, and I said, Drew Brees, you know how I tell you to look people in the eye? No one does it better than this guy. It just goes to the type of quarterback, the type of person this guy is. He's as good as it gets.
I think the worst thing for the Buccaneers, the fact that the Saints were beaten by the Rams last week, 31-21. 2nd and 4. The Saints are out of timeouts. Brees goes underneath to Colston, and Colston gets down to the 3. And the hurry up, final seconds. Saints have to get set, and clocking the ball is Breeze with 1 second remaining. And they're going to bring Casey on to try the field goal. You know what Breeze was looking for? He wanted the 6.
Yeah, that was a little sloppy. They took it all the way down to 1 second. Their offensive line struggled to get set. But the important thing, they got it stopped. They're going to have an opportunity at a field goal, put 3 more points on the board.
So John Casey missed his first field goal attempt from 42 yards out as it hit the upright and bounced back onto the field. This will be a 22-yard field goal attempt. The final play of the first half, barring a penalty, is good. And the Buccaneers could not keep the Saints from getting more points in this game. They got the field goal for the first points of their contest, and then Casey adds 3. 22-yard field goal. And that is the end of the first half, and I would think the Buccaneers have a lot to talk over.
They certainly do. I think the important thing offensively, if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Greg Olsen, you got some rhythm going on that last pass. We talked about running the football. I don't think you can get away from that, but you have to start putting more trust in Josh Freeman to go get this team back in the game. Defensively, you got to be better. I think you call for more man-to-man and gave Drew Brees, and this offense fits in Tampa in game 1. We're seeing more zone, and I think Drew Brees picks apart zone. It's easy for him.
And they have really abandoned the running game a lot. It's been kind of a chippy game between these two rivals. They don't like each other. Well, do we use the word hate? Maybe. 17-3 at the half. I saw that. That's for later. Anyway, 17-3. We get ready for the start of the third. And John, whoever thought that if they're talking about Drew Brees worried about the Bucs stopping the run of the Saints?
Well, I would have, because I saw what happened last week. Sean Payton didn't want his quarterback getting beat up, and as he told us on Friday, the best way to protect him, run the football, and that's what they've done. They've done it extremely well. I think someone gave their offensive line a challenge. They're dominating the line of scrimmage. If you're the Buccaneers, you got to put a stop to that. And then offensively, you know, Howie said it, it's tough because they have to get off their script of trusting LeGarrette Blount to run right down the throats of the Saints. I think if you're the Bucs, you got to continue to do that and find some big plays in there.
And the Saints will get the ball first. Want to remind you to follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. LeGarrette Blount, you've been looking at him, 8 carries, 35 yards. Not bad at 4.4, but Darren Sproles has been a dual threat. We know he can be a triple threat with his return game. So Michael Kanan will start it off here in the third quarter of this game in the Superdome with first place at stake in the NFC South. And Sproles will run it out. Gets tripped up and gets wrestled down up on high at the 20-yard line as we go down to the field to Jennifer Hale.
Well, Dick, I spoke with Coach Sean Payton at halftime. He has scripted the first 6 plays of this second half. He spent halftime down with his players going over them. He says those plays are designed to create a sense of urgency and push the envelope as far as tempo. Coach Raheem Morris emphasized he wants to see more of that youngery attitude out of his players this half. But hey, he wants them to clean it up. No more penalties and no more missed quarterback sack opportunities. Guys?
Clean it up is right. Here's the handoff to Chris Ivory, who started the game at running back, and Ivory brings it out to the 25, picking up 5 yards.
Interesting concept Sean Payton talked to Jennifer Hale about. We hear about scripts to start the game, the first 15, but he's scripted coming out in this second half. Tempo being a key. The Saints always hurt their opponents with the tempo they play. They're already out of the huddle.
Sean Payton, what a psychologist he is. This week had to manage the noise, he calls it. The noise of big wins like they had against the Colts, tough losses like they did against the Rams. And you got to draft players who are smart to put it in perspective, like Pierre Thomas, who may have the first down as he crosses the 30-yard line and does have a first down. Sean Jones making the tackle. Taking a look at the first half numbers, and we're talking about the running game for the Saints.
And there's the big one right there, 9.4 yards per rush. We just saw another one. Gaping holes. If you're the Buccaneers, you got to find a way. Brian Price, Roy Miller, Gerald McCoy's out. It's your job now. Plug up that middle.
Ivory on the sidelines. Darren Sproles is in. They've used Thomas, a whole host of weapons for Drew Brees, including on the receiving end as Devery Henderson makes the play. And Henderson picking up 7.
Buccaneers bring some of that heat with their four-man pressure. But look at Jed Collins coming, scanning the line of scrimmage, coming all the way across the formation to block Adrian Claiborne. They're coming up with different ways to block Claiborne because he's such a presence on that field.
Second down and 3. Now it's Pierre Thomas, and he is tackled 2.5 yards shy of the first down by Tanar Jackson.
Here's the running game. It was Darren Sproles, shot out of a cannon, that got this running game going. Does it go down? Chris Ivory, he's going to pound you. He's the big back. And then Pierre Thomas, Mr. Reliable. He's been around doing it at a high level for the Saints for a few years. They trust in him greatly. They'll play all three, and they all play well.
On the first scoring drive, Sproles ran for 35 yards, caught a pass for 15. And there's Breeze, who has 2 touchdown passes, and this one picked off by Rondé Barber. And they're going to rule Barber down at the 33. And I wonder what Raheem Morris's opinion is about that. Rondé Barber with the pick. Try to get it to Sproles in a hurry, and you wonder whether Raheem Morris may be looking up to see whether this could be a challenge.
They ruled him down by contact.
Can't do that. You can't challenge that.
But you watch how this starts. Rondé Barber right here. He's going to come with a blitz. Look, it's what we call a peel blitz. He's got coverage on Darren Sproles if he comes out. Rondé takes his coverage and then attacks the football. He's done that better than anybody in this league. 42 interceptions on the career for Rondé Barber now.
And the first turnover of the game, and the Buccaneers with an opportunity. First down on the 33. And here's LeGarrette Blount. And Blount works his way to the 31. Jolon Dunbar there, a 2-yard gain.
So there's Rondé Barber coming off on his peel blitz. Drew Brees looks downfield. I don't think he ever sees Rondé Barber, and you better see Rondé Barber because he's a playmaker. He's all over the field. Drew Brees said, I have to be aware of where he is, and he just takes the ball from Darren Sproles. Outstanding play.
Second interception of the year for Barber, playing in his 191st consecutive start. Longest running streak in the league, most ever by a cornerback. They go to Blount. And Blount picks up a few. It'll bring up third down and about 4 or 5.
We talked about being able to stick with the script. Well, that turnover makes it a lot easier to stick with the script. Remember, you're only 2 touchdowns out of this game. You put 1 on the board here, 1 touchdown game.
But they have a third down situation here. 3rd and 4. Early third may be the biggest play of the game for Tampa Bay. Offense. And finally a flag goes down, and they're going to call it on the Saints. An offsides penalty, and that'll be a first down if it is.
Encroachment, number 91, defense, 5-yard penalty. That yardage results in a first down.
Will Smith. And the Saints felt that they were drawn offside. It'll be a first down for the Bucs.
And that's an odd one. They all thought Donald Penn jumped offside, so they went across the line of scrimmage. And the referee said, not so fast, it's on you. Watch Donald Penn up here. They think he moves, which he does, and they jump. I think the referees missed that one.
Will Smith still arguing his point, but it'll be a first down on the 22. Buccaneers looking for their first touchdown of the game. And the pass off the hands of Craig Lumpkin, the third down back. And of course, coming in the game in that role that had been filled so brilliantly by Ernest Graham. Dunbar, the middle linebacker, defending.
And that's one you can't miss. You had the matchup you want. Normally that would be Ernest Graham. Greg Lumpkin, you got to keep running. You can't fall back like that. Josh Freeman, not too familiar with Craig Lumpkin, because it's usually Ernest Graham that's out there. Lumpkin's got to make that play.
Second down and 10. LeGarrette Blount. And the Saints are there. Minimal gain by LeGarrette Blount. And not a bad call to use the running play on second down and 10. And a flag goes down. Late penalty marker.
Talk about these teams not liking each other. You can't do something to hurt your team. And LeGarrette Blount, I think they're going to get him throwing a punch. We've been there before with him. Remember at Oregon and Boise State, got him in some serious trouble. Raheem Morris letting LeGarrette Blount have it.
After the play was over, unnecessary roughness, number 27 of the offense for contacting the helmet of an opponent. 15-yard penalty. Since it was a dead ball foul, that's third down.
Shooting yourself in the foot.
You just can't do it. You don't like the Saints, they don't like you. You can't hurt your football team because of it. It can't become personal.
And that's where this young team going against the veteran team here in New Orleans, and you can say they've won games here in the Dome, but coming off that loss, this is what New Orleans wanted here
but
today.
not an excuse being young. You're the youngest team in the league. Not an excuse for doing something like that. Selfish.
So it'll be third and now 25. And out of field goal range, in effect. Freeman's pass, and it's caught by Mike Williams, and Williams gets to the 30. Fourth down coming up, and the best the Buccaneers can hope for after that unsportsmanlike conduct play against Blount is to try to get 3 back.
And Raheem Morris is livid right now, and he's got to be, because you talk about missed opportunities. You had Lumpkin beating the linebacker, one-on-one situation. Josh Freeman throws a nice ball, he drops it, and then you get the 15-yard penalty, making this a long field goal.
Connor Barth, 48-yard attempt. Barth connected from 40 yards earlier, and this kick is good, and it's now a 17-6 game.
LeGarrette Blount hearing it from Raheem Morris as well he should.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the 2012 Jeep Grand Cherokee. By Chase. Don't get shortchanged. Get your cash back with Chase Freedom. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Back here at the Superdome in New Orleans with the Saints in front now 17-6, and the Saints defense holding the Bucs to just a pair of field goals. Darren Sproles back to receive the kick from Michael Kanan. And this is returnable for Sproles, about 4 yards in the end zone. And Sproles crosses the 20, gets close to the 25-yard line. If looks could kill, John Lynch, how about this look from Raheem Morris?
Oh, boy.
Back here in New Orleans, Drew Brees brings out the Saints. First down on the 24. Pierre Thomas, who has averaged nearly 10 yards per carry. First down, Brees is tossed, caught by Marcus Colston. And Colston gets about 9. Offensive leaders for the Saints, but keep in mind that Thomas, Ivory, and Sproles have all delivered big time in the running game.
Yeah, you're going to have to stop that run, and you want more of those if you're Tampa. Drew Brees, I think, now leads the league in interceptions with 11. He came in with 10. Phillip Rivers has 11. That's won or lost this game. Turnovers.
And Mark Ingram out with a heel injury as Chris Ivory gets the first down. So Ivory, or Ingram that is, out with a heel injury, and Ivory, who returned against the Rams, picking up 5 yards in the first down to the 38.
And I like the adjustment. We saw the interception by Rondé Barber. They went in at halftime and said, we can't play this zone coverage anymore. We've got to go tight man-to-man. It's created some indecision thus far from Drew Brees. Now they got to stop the run so they can put him in those situations.
Only turnover was Rondé Barber's interception. Bucs could only manage a field goal, and here's Pierre Thomas on the fake, but out of the backfield on the reception. And it takes 2 Buccaneers down, and they get about 7 right there. Quincy Black makes the tackle. Saints look tough today.
They do. They're playing hard, second effort. And these are the hidden yards in football games. Aqib Talib right here, you got to come up and make the tackle. It's a tough tackle. It's one-on-one with a great athlete in space, but that's what you have to do. Otherwise, you make it too easy on a guy like Drew Brees and this Saints offense.
Thomas made it even tough for Quincy Black, and Chris Ivory into the game and running into the Buccaneers territory for a first down to the 45, picking up 10 yards on the play. This is a sensational running effort today by the Saints, and it's Drew Brees who has 2 touchdown passes as well.
When you look at this, I'm talking about dominating the line of scrimmage. Watch this surge. Which way is the surge going? Well, it's going in the direction of the Buccaneers defense. Roy Miller, the nose guard, 6 yards downfield. This interior of the offensive line for the Saints having a terrific day.
First down on the 45, and there's Brees up the middle, and open is Pierre Thomas, tackled by Barber at the 40-yard line. A lot of people were questioning the Saints offensive line after last week's game.
And they should have, but they've responded, and that's what good units do. See the play selection, and again, this is balance for the New Orleans Saints. Some of that skewed at the end of the half. They went into 2-minute drill. Much more balanced throughout the course of the first half.
Second down and 4 on the 39 of Tampa Bay. Going right to Sproles out of the backfield. And Sproles gets the first down and goes out of bounds at the 32. So 7 more to the Saints, who now have 351 total yards on the day.
And that's the challenge the New Orleans Saints provide for you. You say, why don't you have Rondé Barber on Darren Sproles? It worked last time. Well, they got a guy named Jimmy Graham over here. And if you cover that, if you cover Jimmy Graham, they got Marcus Colston outside. You got Lance Moore. So many options and a quarterback that can spread it to all of them.
True pick your poison offense for this New Orleans team. First down. And here's Brees. Brees going up the middle. And that was risky. There were a lot of defenders around Jimmy Graham. So it'll bring up second down and 10. Well covered downfield.
And I'll say this, when you take a shot to Jimmy Graham like Drew Brees just did, he's struggled with the interceptions, but he's going to take shots to Jimmy Graham because he trusts him that if anything, it's going to be an incomplete pass. He knows this guy will go fight for the football, use his basketball skills, and at the least bit will be an incomplete pass.
So David Thomas and John Gilmore both in there. Tight end Chris Ivory with a head of steam finds himself inside the 25 for an 8-yard gain. Tenard Jackson, the free safety, making the tackle and eating up the clock here in the third quarter. And an 11-point lead for the Saints.
There's no foul on the play. Third down.
Saints trying to go to 6-3 on the season. And counting today, 5 of their remaining 8 games played here at the Superdome.
It's setting up well for them. They win this game 6-3. Atlanta looks like they're going to go ahead and win. We've got a great race here in the NFC South. That's just par for the course, 75%. That's about what he does.
Phenomenal third down numbers. Fakes the handoff and swings it out to Darren Sproles, who has the first down. Upended close to the 20-yard line by Jackson. And once again, moving the chains are the Saints.
Look at this. You're going to run a little decoy with Lance Moore, and then it's nice to have Darren Sproles out there. You decoy with Lance Moore. You give, again, Darren Sproles in space. He's going to get yards for you.
I agree with your point at the top of the game that this is the team that has the offense, can hang in there with the Green Bay Packers, even though the Packers beat them in week 1. And they're going to run it here to Thomas. And this time a 1-yard pickup. Mason Foster, the middle linebacker, and the 3rd-round draft pick out of the University of Washington.
And he's a kid they like and like a lot, but he's having trouble hanging with Darren Sproles, and he's having trouble because his defensive tackles are getting pushed back in his lap.
Here comes the 11th play of this drive. Brees completes it to the 15 to Lance Moore. Moore And Sproles with touchdown catches today, a 6-yard pickup. So that'll be 3rd down and about 4 coming up now for New Orleans. Make it 3rd and 3. Keeping that defense on the field a long time here in this quarter, John.
They are. They have more 10-play drives than anybody in football. That's what they do. They possess the football, and it's all about this down, 3rd down. They convert at a higher rate than anybody in this league.
They need 3. Chris Ivory's in the game, but Breeze has time, and his pass flag is down, trying to go to Colston, and Rondé Barber defending him. And a pass interference call against the Bucs.
Holding, number 20. Defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
It's on Barber.
But when you have a great player like Rondé Barber working against Colston here, you're going to run a lot of double moves. You want to take advantage of his aggressiveness, and Rondé does the smart thing, because if he doesn't hold him, it's going to be a touchdown. But even sometimes the greatest players get those kind of plays because they're using their aggressiveness against them. Nice play call by Pete Carmichael.
1st and goal at the 9. And here's Pierre Thomas. Thomas still on his feet. Will score! This Saints team is relentless on both sides of the ball today. 9-yard touchdown run.
Well, great running by Pierre Thomas, but these guys right here should get a game ball because they are blowing the Buccaneers off the line of scrimmage. And then Pierre Thomas, Chris Ivory, Darren Sproles, they're doing the easy work because the holes are so big.
2nd touchdown rushing of the year, and Casey with the extra point. So Pierre Thomas, Darren Sproles, Chris Ivory, all playing a big role. There's a flag down here as you see the 9-yard run. Hard work by Thomas. And we're going to sort out this penalty.
I think the Buccaneers threw another punch, this time Aqib Talib.
The extra point is successful. Personal foul, number 26, defense. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. Timeout.
Buccaneers have not been able to maintain their composure as the Saints have taken the game away from them at this point. Sean Jones called for the penalty. It'll be assessed on the kickoff. 24-6, New Orleans.
Game is sponsored by Verizon. Download NFL Mobile only on Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL.
The New Orleans Saints clicking on all cylinders today. But you watch these guys work. They know how to work. Impressive operation going to their practice on Friday. Their attention to detail. They thought they'd come out and play well. Sean Payton did, and they certainly haven't disappointed.
And a disappointment for the Buccaneers coming off their bye week, John, knowing that they came back from London after losing to the Bears. They have their big division rivals coming back, and they really haven't come up with it with all that time. Here again is the touchdown by Pierre Thomas. And we'll return to the Superdome in a moment. And a reminder to get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL to get NFL action right on your phone. From the 20, 1st down, Buccaneers. Been held to 2 field goals in this game. Fake to LeGarrette Blount. And out of the backfield is Blount, who is open. And he'll get the 1st down as he crosses the 30 with Jonathan Casillas, who started at weak side backer. Shanley moved, and Dunbar went to the middle with Vilma out of action today. 378 total yards for the Saints. Huge rushing average, leading 100 yards more than Tampa Bay.
Look at those 1st downs, 22-6. That's the story of the game. They're possessing the ball. The Buccaneers killing themselves with penalties, missing out on opportunities, and they're all self-inflicted wounds by the Buccaneers.
A lot of dead ball fouls amongst those 7 penalties they've had, John. 1st down, and the handoff is to Blount. Changes direction, goes outside, will get the 1st down, has a blocker in Josh Freeman, and goes out of bounds. Josh Freeman becomes a blocker here in a 27-yard gain by number 27. Knocked out of bounds by Malcolm Jenkins.
Well, LeGarrette Blount, he's going to wind here, come all the way back. But watch the quarterback, Josh Freeman. He's going to work his way back into the screen and become a lead blocker for LeGarrette Blount. He throws a little bluff on Malcolm Jenkins. That doesn't make much sense. He bluffed Malcolm Jenkins to go block a defensive lineman. Maybe it's that Turk McBride from earlier. He's still mad at him.
He screened him. Good screen there. 1st and 10 at the 42. Play action. Here comes a defender. And Freeman delivers a pass caught by Eric Lorig and hit by Patrick Robinson, and he picks up 6. Kurt Menefee with the game break.
Well, another game that was close and has become a blowout a bit. The Jets and Bills. Mark Sanchez hooking up with Santonio Holmes on the 8-yard score. Jets led 3-0 at halftime. Now in the third quarter, they're cruising. It's 20-3 right now. Dick and John?
All right, Kurt, and of course the Jets trying to break a 4-game losing streak on the road, and in the Bills 4-0 mark at home. 2nd down and 4, and here is LeGarrette Blount, and Blount will be close to the 1st down, shy by a half a yard.
And if I'm Greg Olson, the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm going to 3 receivers right now. We lost Tracy Porter, the starting corner, earlier. Patrick Robinson has now gone off the field. They don't even have a 3rd corner on the roster anymore. Here you got to get the 1st down, but I'd be living in that 3-receiver set because they're out of corners. They got 2 left.
Or as they say, fresh out of corners. 3rd down and 1. 1 for 8 on 3rd downs, though, are the Bucs. Freeman's pass off the hands of Eric Lorig. Incomplete. It'll be 4th and 1, and I think if the Bucs went for 4th down earlier in the 1st quarter, they would do it here.
Yeah, it's a game of inches, and these are balls. There's 2, frankly, thus far. We saw the one to Lumpkin earlier, and that's a tough catch, but you got to make the catch. That's how you win big games like this. I will give it to Eric Lorig. He was a defensive lineman at Stanford 3 years ago, so he's still working on those hands.
You're defending the Cardinal here, in other words. Not surprised. So Lumpkin and Lorig had chances. Now it's 4th and 1. And the play is blown dead. 5-yard penalty will make it 4th and 6. Those dead ball penalties have really done in Raheem Morris's Bucs today.
It's just sloppy. And as I mentioned earlier, being the youngest team in the league, not an excuse. These are dead ball penalties, foolish penalties, as Raheem Morris called it. He had them running gassers when they had them in practice over the bye week. It hadn't helped. They need to run more gassers.
4th down and 6. And the pass is caught, and it'll be a 1st down. Mike Williams holding on to the ball with Lee Torrance on his back. Picks up 8 yards and a 1st down, and that may be the last play of this 3rd quarter. As Freeman hitting Williams. Not an easy play to convert either. That is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Saints 24 and the Buccaneers 6. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a break from your local Fox station.
And there's an old familiar sight for Saints fans. Darren Sharper turning his head. Turn your head, Darren. There you go. And they could use him right now because, as I mentioned, they're fresh out of corners. Terry Porter, Patrick Robinson, both out of the game right now. They've run out of corners. They've got 2 starters, and that's it.
Start of the 4th quarter. Dick Stockton, John Lynch, Jennifer Hale. 1st down at the 30 of the Saints. And there is an end-around pitch to Aurelius Ben, but the Saints are there and knock him out of bounds. It was Joline Dunbar who made the play. Good pursuit and a loss of 5.
Will Smith doesn't make the tackle, but he makes the play. Watch him right here. Get upfield. You teach kids all the time about contain. He gets upfield. He causes Aurelius Ben to take the long route, and then his teammates, his help comes a helping, and that's good football by Will Smith, having an outstanding season for the New Orleans Saints.
This may be at the top of the list, defensive performances by the Saints this year. Second down and 15. Freeman completes to the tight end, Kellen Winslow. And Winslow goes out of bounds at the 20, picking up about 14 yards. It'll be a first down for the Bucs. Opening minute here of the fourth quarter.
The Buccaneers must not have recognized thus far that Patrick Robinson is out of the game. They keep going with these conventional sets. If you're in 3-receiver set, they don't have. You got to put a linebacker or a safety because they're out of corners.
Tracy Porter got hurt early in the game, and then Patrick Robinson was sent to the sidelines. First down, and LeGarrette Blount. Good run by Blount, getting inside the 15, and another penalty.
Personal foul. Tripping, number 70, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Left tackle Donald Penn. Every time the Buccaneers get something done, they commit a penalty that brings them back, and they'll spot it at the 30-yard line. Rough day for Raheem Morris's club, trying to get a touchdown to narrow the gap with plenty of time here in the fourth quarter. Patrick Robinson, by the way, shaken up earlier, is into the game. He and Jabari Greer are the corners for the Saints. There's Robinson. First down and 20. Fake to LeGarrette Blount. Pass caught by Laurie. And the fullback brought down. Not many yards after the catch today by the Bucs. Good tackling by the Saints at the point of attack. A gain of 7. Casillas on the play.
Well, we said it coming in. This Saints defense needs to play better. They aren't causing turnovers, and they've been letting people run right through them. They've answered the challenge as well. And Greg Williams, very good defensive coordinator. His unit hadn't been playing well, but they're certainly responding today.
Gave up 7 against Indianapolis, 10 against Jacksonville. 6 is the fewest they've allowed. And here is Freeman, caught by Mike Williams. And Williams dives to within about 3 yards of the first down. He got 10.5 on that play. With third down coming up for the Buccaneers.
It's good to see Mike Williams starting to play well again. Struggled here earlier today, has struggled in his second year. Kind of a sophomore slump for Mike Williams.
1 for 9 on the Bucs on third down conversions. They need 3. Williams has come on. Freeman, pass, incomplete. And the intended receiver was Desmond Briscoe, covered by Roman Harper. Fourth down and 3.
I circled that because, as I said earlier, anytime they had this matchup, they were going to go there. They think that's a mismatch in their favor. Just a little bit outstretched outside of the arms of Kellen Winslow. But good job attacking where they feel they have an advantage.
And they'll go for it again on fourth down. Fourth and 3 on the 13. Pressure on Freeman, and the flag goes down, and LeGarrette Blount might have been, or Parker might have been interfered with by Malcolm Jenkins.
Pass interference, number 27, defense, not playing the ball, contacted the receiver early, automatic first down.
So that's 2 first downs that the Bucs have gotten by penalty in this second half.
Greg Williams brings the heat, puts a safety on a wide receiver, and that's what happens. Safeties start panicking when they get out there on those wide receivers.
So now 1st and goal at the 7. Freeman overthrowing Kellen Winslow. So it'll be 2nd and goal.
This for the Buccaneers has been their Achilles heel. Along with the penalties, they are dead last in the red zone. And there's really no reason for it, Dick. When I look at a red zone offense, I say, can they run the ball? All right, they can run the ball. With LeGarrette Blount, they can. You've got weapons. Well, you've got Kellen Winslow, you've got Mike Williams, but yet we've got last
against last.
Yeah, so who's going to win?
2nd and goal, ball at the 7. Tampa Bay looking for their first touchdown of the game, and there's Freeman going to run it. Josh Freeman, and he'll get tripped up and down. Jabari Greer and Scott Shanley were there. So now 3rd and goal. Still at the 7. And they'll have 2 downs to try to get it through.
That was a designed run all the way. When you're struggling on something as bad as the Buccaneers are, you're trying. You're looking for things. We saw Josh Johnson come into the game earlier today. That's a designed run to Freeman. They're trying to find a way to get it in the end zone. Nothing's working. Here comes the pressure.
Freeman in trouble. Smith going after him, and the ball tipped away, incomplete. It was intended for Williams, and Jabari Greer got a hand on it, but it was Will Smith coming around to make life difficult for Josh Freeman.
Well, I know how it is, Josh Freeman, because Greg Williams in this defense fooled me. They showed pressure. They only brought 3. It confused Josh Freeman. He extends the play, but great coverage because they have 8 guys back in coverage.
And Greer on the intended receiver, so now Connor Barth is on as Buccaneers will try to get 3 back, 25-yard field goal attempt, and Barth's kick is good. His 3rd field goal of the game. And with 11:08 remaining in the 4th quarter, Saints lead it now 24-9. Good job engineered by Greg Williams. Not happy there. Well, this November, join the NFL's Salute to Service campaign to honor our nation's veterans and active servicemen and women. Learn more at NFL.com/salute. 24-9, the Saints leading the Buccaneers. Buccaneers coming in with a 2-0 record in the division. Darren Sproles, who has rushed for 30 yards, including a 35-yard run, and caught a touchdown pass, has 5 receptions, and this kickoff will go out of the end zone, and the Saints will come out of the 20. Drew Brees, with his 29th straight game with 20 or more completions, extending his NFL record, will be coming on again.
Today's game is sponsored by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. By UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you. And by Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving.
Back here at the Superdome. And this is an interesting view of Brees away from the huddle, John.
You know, I watched this guy practice the other day. That's what he does. There's never an idle moment. He's always thinking. He's always stretching. He's always moving. And I think that's why he's so good. He's played the game before he ever steps on the field.
From the 20, Chris Ivory gets a yard. Kurt Menefee with a game break.
Well, Saints fans saw this periodically, just not enough. Reggie Bush now in Miami. 140 total yards in this game, and the Dolphins look like they're about to get their first win of the season. We say looks like it's 31-3. 7.5 minutes left in regulation against KC. Dick and John.
How about Kansas City with a great winning streak and Miami winless, huh?
Boy, and you see Reggie Bush there, but I think the New Orleans Saints are just fine with Darren Sproles filling in for him.
2nd down and 9. Dropping it is Jed Collins. Took his eye off the ball. Drew Brees. As good as they come. Overall rankings and the 3rd down numbers huge.
And you look at the overall excellent 3rd down off the charts. And I just want to be able to explain to you how tough 3rd down is for quarterbacks in this league. Typically your completion percentage goes down, your rating goes down. For Drew Brees it goes the other way. He says, listen, a lot of thought, a lot of preparation goes into this, and that's why he's the best.
And off to Darren Sproles, and he is tackled quickly by Adrian Claiborne. First tackle of the day for Claiborne. By the way, those numbers coming into today's action. And now the Saints 4 for 8 on 3rd downs today. And 4th down, and Morstead will come in to kick it away.
I got to go have a talk with Sean Payton. I'm building up his quarterback, best 3rd down quarterback ever. He hands it off to Darren Sproles for a 1-yard gain.
Well, you know, the running game is working. 150 yards for the Saints today. Only 74 for the Bucs. Preston Parker ready to return the punt. Morstead, he's a weapon, by the way. And Parker muffs it. Regains his footing. Loses it again. And the Bucs recover. Jonathan Amaya knocked the ball away, and Preston Parker was shaky all the way around on that return.
He muffs it early, runs with the football, and then muffs it late.
Fox tomorrow, 85 million BC is a world of wonder and a world of danger. When a meteor hit takes the colony's power down, can they survive the night? Don't miss an all-new episode of television's biggest adventure, Terra Nova, tomorrow at 8/7 Central on Fox. Josh Freeman's numbers, and the Saints, who have had some impressive ball control drives, only kept the ball, John, for a minute and a half. Bucs have 3 timeouts left. This is a 2-score game. Touchdown, and then they'd be 8 behind, so an important drive upcoming. Freeman with time on 1st down. And it's knocked down by Smith. Trying to flip it to Lumpkin.
I mentioned earlier in the game, Dick, I think Josh Freeman at times would be better served by tucking the ball and running. Right there, he had 10 yards open space. You want to throw the football, but go ahead and get yards with your legs. Then you'll draw the coverage up. Then you can go over the top.
Carried the ball twice for only a yard, but we know that he's done more damage that way. 2nd down and 10. Freeman again has time. Pass caught by Lumpkin. Lumpkin has primarily been a blocker, not a receiver as much. Backing up Ernest Graham. Lee Torrance making the tackle. An 8-yard pickup. 3rd down and 2.
This is a key conversion here. But if I'm the Buccaneers, I start getting in that hurry up. To me, that's when Josh Freeman plays his best football anyways. We've seen him in the 4th quarter. A ton of 4th quarter comebacks by Josh Freeman. This is when he's at his best.
The more desperate it is, that's when Freeman rises to the occasion, it seems. Freeman's pass, and it's incomplete. Briscoe was the intended receiver, but a penalty flag down at the 34.
Illegal hands to the face, number 24, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic. 1st down.
Lee Torrance 1 for 11 on 3rd down conversions, John, or the Bucs, but they've gotten 3 breaks because of penalties against the Saints defense.
We've seen penalties go both ways in these games, and they're coming in critical junctures of the game. 3rd down twice now for the Buccaneers, getting the 1st down due to penalties on 3rd or even on a punt.
At the 36, 8:42 remaining in the 4th. Freeman's pass caught by Preston Parker. Parker, first down, and he edges his way into New Orleans territory. Malcolm Jenkins makes the play, 15-yard gain, and now they're moving it up a little faster with the tempo.
Josh Freeman has such a skill of being able to stand in the pocket. He's a big man, 6'6", 250 pounds. He hangs in there, The ability to throw off his back foot serves him well.
Lumpkin. Just a couple. Roman Harper. The strong safety coming up. Saints still have both of their games against the Atlanta Falcons to be played, and one against Carolina in the division. 2nd down and 7. From the 46 of the Saints. Freeman. And holding on is Lumpkin, hit by Roman Harper. And the reception is made at the 45 of New Orleans. They're about 6 yards shy with 3rd down coming up.
Well, Greg Williams doing a nice job of changing it up. Showing pressure again, dropping out. Only a 3-man rush. Plenty of time, but so many people back in coverage. This is all Josh Freeman has. Great hit by Roman Harper.
They have made strong hits on every catch made by the Bucs today. 3rd down and 6. Freeman, and it's caught, and a first down. Mike Williams, who dropped one earlier and has come on strong since then, tackled by Robinson and gets 9 as Freeman gets hit after delivering the throw.
We talk about Greg Williams changing it up. This time he brought the pressure. You can't block them all, and Malcolm Jenkins gives a little rib shot to Josh Freeman. That's all right. He's 6'6", 250 pounds. He can take it.
Only the 2nd 3rd down conversion of the game for the Bucs. They're on the Saint 36. Under 6.5 to go in the 4th. Freeman goes short, completes it to Zach Penalto, and 1 yard shy of the first down. First time they've gone to Penalto. 2nd catch of the season. 2nd down and 1.
Remember, we're 6 minutes now left in the game. Field goals don't do you any good. You got to score touchdowns. And I would try a shot right here. You know the red zone struggles. Try to score from outside the red zone.
Kellen Winslow is in the slot to the right on 2nd down and 1. And there's a pass to Williams. And the ball knocked away by Lee Torrance, and a flag comes down late. And they'll call it against Torrance, and it'll be a first down.
Number 21 defense, not playing the ball, contacted the receiver early.
It was Torrance.
First down.
Robinson is 21, but it was Lee Torrance here against Williams.
And I tell you, from up here, it looked like, if anything, it was going to be offensive pass interference. Watch, Mike, that's playing the football, and that's not a good call in my mind. But the Buccaneers are the beneficiary. And when you take shots like that, you've got an opportunity for 2 things to happen. One of them's a PI, and they just got it.
That's why Hail Marys can pay off that way sometime, John. 1st and goal at the 5. And the pass, touchdown, Kellen Winslow. And a nifty play as Freeman faked the run and then stopped and threw to Winslow for the touchdown. And it's 24-15. An impressive drive and the first touchdown scoring drive for Tampa Bay today.
Well, Dick, you hit it. Last time they were in the red zone, they went with the design run. Here they bluff the design run, and Kellen Winslow's going to get upfield, and Josh Freeman hits him. Draw Jonathan Casillas, the linebacker, up, pop it right behind him.
Connor Barth makes it an 8-point game. That's a 1-possession game, a touchdown and a conversion. So the Buccaneers stay in the game with 5:33 to go on the 5-yard touchdown pass to Kellen Winslow.
Today's game is sponsored by the Ford F-150, the only truck available with EcoBoost.
Peyton upstairs, Raheem Morris downstairs. I love what Jimmy Johnson said. We were laughing at that. He says it's having the teacher upstairs, downstairs, and throwing spitballs at one another.
Yeah, he says you got the substitute teacher in class. And this is where you need that old school, the regular teacher that's willing to whip those kids a little bit. Because right now it's getting tight. You got a one-score ball game right now. Sean Payton, I promise you, is wishing he could be down on the field with his team.
And the Saints not out of the woods yet. And leading by 8. And Saints will take it out on the 20. Drew Brees, 24 of 33, 2 touchdowns. Drew Brees with 24 completions now has more completions than Joe Montana in his career and is in the NFL all-time top 10. Looking to perhaps put this game away. Starting from the 20 with 5:33 to go in the fourth. Pierre Thomas, the running back, play action on first down. Brees drills it and it's caught for the first down to Jimmy Graham. And the tight end out to the 35, gaining 15. Quincy Black.
Well, again, a tremendous adjustment from last week. You're having trouble protecting the quarterback. Bring a tight end over, Dave Thomas, and pop their best pass rusher right in the mouth. Give Drew Brees time, and you give him time, he's going to find guys like Jimmy Graham. Great execution by the New Orleans Saints protecting Drew Brees.
6 catches, 78 yards, leading the Saints in receiving today. Chris Ivory, the back, and another play action. Brees, and he throws short, and it's caught by John Gilmore. And Gilmore makes the catch at the 43, picking up 1 yard. Or 9, we should say.
And another way to protect Drew Brees that we've seen throughout the day, a constant theme. Double up on the ends off the field or move the pocket. They've been moving Drew Brees out of the pocket, rolling him out. Positive yards, a 9-yard gain on first down.
And what Raheem said, so many weapons, we're going to concentrate on one, and that's Brees. Easier said than done. Second down and 1. Chris Ivory, first down to the 49. 5-yard gain by Ivory. Want to welcome the viewers who saw the Atlanta Falcons run all over the Indianapolis Colts. So they won. The Saints a half a game of both the Bucs and the Falcons coming into this game. 1.5 game lead. Leading here, Drew Brees' throw. And threading the needle, it's a catch to David Thomas, using all of his tight ends on this drive, picking up 3 yards with Black and Talib there.
Dick, we don't have to remind the Atlanta Falcons fans that next week it will be these New Orleans Saints coming to Atlanta to face the Atlanta Falcons, in which if they can hang on will be for first place between 2 5-3 teams. Excuse me, 6-3 teams.
Very tough division and marked by 4 quarterbacks. And I say 4 because Cam Newton has made an impact. Second down and 6. Handoff to Chris Ivory. Ivory crosses midfield and gets to the 46 of the Bucs. Talib on the stop, 2-yard gain.
And here's what this game comes down to. Drew Brees, nobody better at this league on third down. Nobody better than this Saints offense on third down. But if you're the Buccaneers, it doesn't matter. You got to find a way to get him off the field. I'd bring pressure. I'd get the ball out of his hands. And you got to stand up in one-on-one coverage against some great matchups, Jimmy Graham and Darren Sproles.
Third down and 4. Drew Brees goes over to talk to Carl Sheffers, the referee.
First charge timeout.
And a timeout. Saints, their first of this second half. Josh Freeman, who's been the master of fourth quarter comebacks in his brief career and trying to engineer another one, but he's got to kind of rely on his defense to keep Breeze from putting more points on the board. Coming up next, we have some super games on America's Game of the Week. Giants and Patriots, Eli Manning against Tom Brady, Packers and Chargers, Aaron Rodgers against Phillip Rivers. Couldn't ask for anything more than that. Welcome the viewers who saw the Dallas Cowboys beat the Seattle Seahawks 23-13. Dick Stockton, John Lynch, and Jennifer Hale. Drew Brees having another brilliant day, although he did throw an interception. Saints running the ball and doing it effectively to the tune of 156 yards.
Here it is, Rondé Barber on Jimmy Graham.
Barber's been all over the place defending receivers. 3rd down and 4. Here's Breeze. Breeze is going to run. He'll get the first down and a lot more as he winds up inside the Tampa Bay 30. So just when you think you have everyone covered, then there's Drew Brees. He picks up 20.
And Raheem Morris, who's the head coach and also the defensive coordinator, he says you got to move him off his spot. If he runs, it's a win for you. Well, not when the game's on the line. Drew Brees can do it all. He can beat you, slicing you up in coverage with the likes of Jimmy Graham and Darren Sproles, and he can also move. He's a tremendous athlete. It's not what you typically see from Drew Brees, but when it mattered most, he got the first down.
And you really have to wonder, who other than the Saints really have the kind of firepower to challenge the Green Bay Packers?
In the NFC, it's going to be tough. San Francisco's playing pretty darn well, though.
2-minute warning. We'll be right back. Bread and butter, 3rd down conversions, 56.3% on pace for the NFL single season record currently held by the Colts. What are they today? 5 for 9, just about at 56%. 2 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. 1st and 10, and Chris Ivory gets a yard, and soon the Buccaneers are going to have to think about using timeouts on defense. And they do. Timeout called by Tampa Bay.
You'd have to use all these timeouts and then either get the turnover by stripping someone or block a field goal, because the Saints are in field goal position already.
Welcome to New Orleans. Dick Stockton and John Lynch. 2nd down and 9 coming up for the Saints. The Buccaneers scoring on their last possession. Josh Freeman with a touchdown pass to Kellen Winslow, but Drew Brees, sparked by a run of 20 yards. And the Saints threatening. All they need is 3 to make it a 2-score game. 2nd down and 9 at the 25. Darren Sproles breaks out of the pack. 1st down. Flag down. Touchdown. Pending the flag. And Sproles wanted to make sure that the fans don't fumble that ball. Gave it to the fans. We'll see what the call is. Maybe against the Saints.
Number 19, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
So the wide receiver, Devery Henderson, holding on the play, nullifying a 25-yard touchdown run.
But I got to tell you, watch this at the end of the play. I think that's a good block. I think it's a pancake block. His hands are inside. I think it's a good block. They called a hold. The Buccaneers the beneficiaries, but I think a good block by Devery Henderson. That's what you want out of your wide receivers. And I think the lesson we've learned today that a lot of people have learned in this league, you give Darren Sproles any space, this guy will burn you. He is shot out of a cannon each and every time he touches the football.
He had a 35-yard run, 15-yard catch in one scoring drive, and actually caught the touchdown pass as well. Pierre Thomas. Thomas can't break away from Rondé Barber, but gets close to the 1st down. With a minute and a half remaining. 8 yards, and Thomas has run as tough as anyone today, John.
Well, this is great running. It's poor tackling, though. There's people on the
Second charge.
On the tackle,
timeout,
Mason
Tampa Bay.
Foster has a chance. He
30-second
bounces.
timeout.
Roy Miller has a chance. He's a nose guard. You bring down a running back. Tanar Jackson has a chance, and then Old Faithful Rondé Barber will finally bring him down. But you got to tackle better when the game's on the line if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Timeout called by the Bucs. They have one left. So the Saints ran 70 yards in their loss in Week 6 at Tampa Bay. Today, they're on the verge of getting over 200.
And again, I go back to why they were motivated to run. You wanted balance because Drew Brees got beat up last week. 6 sacks versus the St. Louis Rams. They've run the football. They've protected Drew Brees. This is the formula for this New Orleans Saints offense.
America's game of the week to follow. Big day of football on Fox. 3rd down and inches. Chris Ivory knocked back, and he appears to be stopped short of the 1st down. Mason Foster, the rookie middle linebacker, came in strong. And now the Bucs.
Well, we're talking poor tackling. Here's a clinic tape on how to tackle. Mason Foster, Chris Ivory coming downhill and goes back downhill. Excellent tackle by Mason Foster when it mattered most. 3rd and 1 with the game on the line.
So the Buccaneers forced to call their 3rd and final timeout here with 1:21 remaining on the clock. Bucs are out of timeouts. You can't get a better game coming up with these 4 quarterbacks in 2 games to follow. Manning and Brady with the Giants facing the Patriots. Rodgers and Rivers with the Packers and Chargers going at it.
Well, let's talk about this quarterback, Drew Brees. Sean Payton's keeping him on the field on 4th down. 1:21 left.
Previous play is under review.
And it's a booth review on the previous play, and it's interesting because Sean Payton knows that a field goal would ice this game, but with 4th and inches, question is, did they get the 1st down on that last play? And let's see where the spot is.
Look, the line to gain is right about that 16-yard line.
It's unofficial, the yellow line.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to overturn in my mind. Just a tremendous tackle by Mason Foster. I think that's a stop, and I think that will remain as called on the field. Nothing to you that showed conclusively that they missed the spot.
No, I'm with you.
But an interesting call by Sean Payton, regardless of if it is indeed 4th down, to not go ahead and kick the field goal. The thinking might be only bad things can happen. You kick the ball, you can get blocked.
Want to welcome the viewers who saw the 49ers beat the Redskins today, and if you're looking at possible challengers to the Green Bay Packers, we're seeing one here in the New Orleans Saints. They have averaged 32 points a game. They've got 24, leading here by 8. 49ers would be another one.
What a job Jim Harbaugh has done. We had them week 1, and you felt they were going to be a good football team. But here's a team with a new coach who didn't have an offseason, and here they are now at 7-1. Incredible, 8-1.
And what he's done with Alex Smith.
Yeah, no one believed in him. He came in, he showed belief in him. He said it's not just Alex Smith that's been the problem around here. And look at Alex Smith, one of the highest rated passers in football right now. It just shows you what a little belief, and you put some tools around him, what can happen.
Johnny's become a mistake-free quarterback for that team. Meanwhile, the booth review going on.
The ruling on the field stands. 4th down.
So it'll be 4th down and inches. And Sean Payton, and you saw him upstairs, hopes to get back after that collision in the first Tampa Bay game after the bye week. 1:21 remaining and an 8-point game, and the Saints passing up the field goal on 4th and inches. That will put the game away. Want to run for it.
Looks like he's just trying to draw him off sides.
Yep, exactly. And the Saints calling their 2nd timeout, and the field goal team.
30-second timeout.
John Casey is going to come on And you know, the way the penalties have affected the Buccaneers today, no wonder they were trying to draw them offside to get the first down.
Well, it's incredible. They still have an opportunity to win this football game. Now, this field goal is it right now. John Casey, he's missed one in the first quarter. Buccaneers, you better throw your best stuff. You got to find a way to get a block, whatever you can do.
And Casey's field goal is good. 34-yard field goal by John Casey puts this game presumably away with 1:17 to go, and the Bucs out of timeouts. It's 27-16. And let's look ahead to the second game of this doubleheader. Giants lead in the NFC East, going against the Patriots, who were beaten by the Steelers last week.
Well, what an opportunity for Eli Manning, who's having, I think, his best year in football. But you want to establish yourself as an elite quarterback, go ahead and beat Tom Brady. And nothing will do that faster than that. And then the other one, San Diego, Green Bay. What a game that is. Phillip Rivers, discouraged, dropped a snap at the end of regulation. He's a competitor. He's going to come back, though. Green Bay will get the Chargers' best shot today.
They will, and I think, you know, the longer you go undefeated, it's very hard for a team to go 8-0. I don't care if you've won the Super Bowl. It's hard to do it. You're going into San Diego, short week after they lost to Kansas City. Kansas City loses to Miami. How do you figure this league?
Yeah, who knows? But I do know those are two very good football teams. The Green Bay Packers are not without flaw. They've been getting a ton of yards on defense. Tom Capers in that defense has to improve on some things. They've been getting away with it because they've turned the ball over as a defense so much. They've created turnovers.
What a show of quarterbacks coming up next, with Eli Manning, Tom Brady, Phillip Rivers, Aaron Rodgers. Can't beat that one, as the Buccaneers will take it out at the 20-yard line. And for those of you in the home markets of our late games, in a moment you will be leaving this one, and we will be switching you to the start of your game. Josh Freeman coming out on the field. He's 23 for 33 today, 243 yards, has thrown a touchdown pass. The only touchdown that the Bucs have scored, hitting Kellen Winslow. And your former teammate, he's had a busy day.
Well, he's a tremendous competitor, a tremendous player. I think belongs in the Hall of Fame someday. But this team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they haven't yet addressed what's been killing them. It's been penalties, self-inflicted wounds. They've got to somehow address that in the middle of this season.
Freeman's pass caught by Winslow. And he mentioned that Ronde Barber to be in the Hall of Fame someday, and he's not the only one from that secondary, I might add. No timeouts remaining, 1 minute to go. First half domination by the Saints, who led 17-3 and always kept the Buccaneers at arm's length today. Freeman running and gets the first down and goes out of bounds, chased by Junior Galette, picking up 7.
And you really have to hand it to this New Orleans Saints defense. A lot of people, including myself, came into today really questioning, does this defense have it? They haven't created the turnovers. They've been getting pounded with the running game. They stepped up to the challenge without possibly their best player, Jonathan Vilma, today, who was out with a knee injury. This is good progress for this defense moving forward. Tough matchup with Atlanta next week.
They came up big. They'll have a 3-man rush with 44 seconds remaining on 1st and 10. Freeman goes underneath to Lumpkin, and Lumpkin is tackled a yard shy of the first down. The tackling, big gap today between the two teams.
Well, you make a great point. And that's what ultimately this game comes down to, is the fundamentals. Who's going to block well, who's going to tackle well. And the Saints won that department as well as many others today.
2nd down and 1. Final seconds of this game. And Freeman completes to Zach Pianalto, and Dunbar makes the tackle, and that'll do it. The New Orleans Saints will go to 6-3 on the year and have a half-game lead over the Atlanta Falcons, as the pass is caught by Spurlock as he goes out of bounds. And the Bucs drop to 3rd, and they're 4-4 on the year.